In this video, we're going to be using the serial monitor, and this allows us to communicate from the feather to the computer. So we can see messages sent from the feather on our computers. The first thing you're going to want to do is open up the Arduino IDE, and you're going to have the default code. Should be a setup portion and a loop portion. So in the setup portion, this runs once at the beginning. Every time you hit on certain Arduinos, you have a reset button. If you hit the reset button, it'll start from the setup. And then we have the loop part, which will basically run forever after the setup has run. So the first thing we're going to want to do is begin the serial. And that would look something like this. The 9600 has to do with the rate at which the microcontroller is communicating with the computer. 9600 is generally a common rate that's used, so you can continue using that in future programs. Then to actually print something to the serial monitor, we can use serial.print, and then in parentheses, we can write a message. So for example, hello. Now, keep in mind, you're going to need semicolons at the end of each line. The reason we use quotation marks is to denote a string, because hello here is a string with the comma and the space, of course. Yeah, and then we also have a print line function. So I'm going to add another string here in the parentheses, and again, semicolon at the end. And the purpose, the difference between print line and print is that print will not create a new line after this is printed. So if I write hello and then I print something after that, it will be on the same row as hello. Whereas print line creates a new line after whatever is in the parentheses is printed. So for example, in this case, we'll see hello Hoggo in one line. And then since this is repeating forever, we'll keep seeing individual lines of this message. And that's because we have this line here. If we didn't have the print line and we had print, then we would just have one long line of hello Hoggo multiple times. And then we're also going to add a delay statement. And essentially what goes in the parentheses is how much you want the program to wait in milliseconds before continuing to the next statement. In this case, it's at the end of the loop. So after it prints this message, it'll wait a second or 1,000 milliseconds before printing the next hello. Yeah, and be careful with indentations. I should have not indented twice there. Yeah. Once you've done this, get your feather and plug it into your computer. I'm back. I've plugged in my board with the micro USB cable into my computer. I'm actually using a different board because I do not have the feather with me. I'm using a Teensy, which I might have mentioned previously. The procedure is pretty similar. So the first thing you want to make sure is that under the tools that you've selected the right board. For me, it's the Teensy. For you, it's going to have to be the feather. So make sure that you've selected that board and that this board says feather. And I believe it's the M4 Express that you have received. So make sure that's what it says. And also make sure that your port is correct. So in order to find out what the port is, one way to do this is to just disconnect and connect it and see what serial ports appear under this menu. So whatever appears, so you remove it, you look at the list, you plug it back in, and then you see something, a new port was added to this list. You should select that new port because that's the one that corresponds to your board. Once you verify that, you can hit this upload button and just give it a minute to compile and upload. So my TNC operates a bit differently. There's an add-on, but you should see this done uploading. And once that happens, click on Tools and click on Serial Monitor. And you should be able to see messages being printed. This should actually be 9600 because we had indicated that rate here. So be aware that this number should match this number. I'm not sure why the TNC operates a bit differently, so I'm not sure why it was working, but generally then these numbers should match up, and if they don't, you might just see a bunch of junk characters and you won't be able to interpret it. So if you're running into issues, make sure this number matches this number. You can also clear the output. This is sometimes useful if you have too much on the screen. Yeah, there's also an auto scroll, so this will go down as it prints messages. Yeah, we can actually try something else now. Let's try deleting the ln in this print line, just to show you what that print ln does compared to just a print statement. And I'm going to hit upload again. Give it a minute. And then again, click on Tools, then Serial Monitor. And you'll see, like I had mentioned last time, now it's going to print everything in one line. It's not going to create a new line after my name. So that's something to be aware of. And notice there is a bit of a delay. There's about a 1 second delay between every time it prints hello Hogop. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for this. Congrats on making it past the serial monitor, and now we can jump into some more advanced material. See you in the next video.